here we are. We're back for another exciting tech chat.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm sitting here as that garden gnome, you know, the one that's forgotten.
Yeah.
Oh well, hopefully not.
Just sitting there.
Yeah, hopefully adding more value, not like when you put the gnome in your garden, your whole, you know, residential area goes down in price, in value.
Yeah, so let's hope it's not like that. But
anyway, okay, cool. So, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on over there.
yep, a lot of variables and a lot of code.
Okay, well, so initially you started, what was it, 9 or 10 days ago with a proof of concept game. You've ripped that game out, whoosh, kicked it out, it's gone, whoosh, and you've moved on and you've added more components, more stuff.
Yes. So it would have been just irritating because I'd have to update that game at the same time as updating my engine. It'd just be a pain because I've redesigned quite a lot. So
okay, so you're going to just show us what new cool stuff. I was hoping to see a full-fledged game engine with a hardcore game, but I know you're not Superman, so, you know, not a superhuman. I do expect that. What the hell's wrong with you, man?
the game engine isn't quite ready, sadly, to make a mildly interesting game yet.
Anyway, okay, so what are the latest things that you've done? You've
So I've added
a camera system?
So I've added a camera system, I've added a scene system, I've added joystick support.
Okay, and then obviously this support, mouse support.
Yeah, keyboard support, obviously.
Invisible hand support. No.
Not yet.
Telepathy. No, nothing like that.
No, unless you have a...
Neural network. Neuralink.
No, unless you have like Elon's Neuralink. No.
Okay, cool. No, okay, so you've done mortal stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to show us what?
So let's start off at the inputs. So as you see, the input class, now I've ripped out all the input code, it seems. I haven't actually. I've just moved it in different
Decentralized
scripts.
it.
Well, it's all centralized. It's all in the same script, or in the same class. I've just made extensions. So I've moved all the code, and the only reason why is just because it's really complicated and ugly in this one script. Like 3 inputs.
So now you've made 3 ugly scripts instead of 1 ugly script.
Exactly.
No, it actually makes sense to break things apart. Very good.
But it hasn't actually broken things apart. You only have to go input dots to get all these functions from all these 3 scripts, which is quite cool.
Cool, and then you did
the joystick support is working really well.
So is it this thing? Yeah, this?
Yep, it's a PlayStation DualSense
the
controller.
Sony PlayStation.
Yep, and it works really well with Mac now. They've added full support for it, which is great, and it's really easy to interact with. Where's that one class? Game View. See, can we find it? Game View, there we go. With the game controller class, it's really all built in, really easy to interact with it.
Even though you took 6 years to do it. No,
yes. But here we have all the different, where we input everything as one big class. Not a huge fan of that, but we just have a bunch. Here's where we set the joystick keys to the inputs. This is where we actually record it, though, the joystick inputs.
What's that funky little, what's this, what's going on over there, YXBA thing going on there?
Yes, that's just this is just the directions to help me, because it's a bit hard to see, but sort of in the light you can see these 4 buttons.
In the light.
Yes, but it's quite hard to see actually. Those 4 buttons, so it's just giving me the order. So like the triangle at the top is Y, the O is X, I believe. It just helps me understand where the keys are. Okay. Because this doesn't say Y, X, B, A. This controller, it says it's circle, square.
Okay, we understand.
Yes, it's not going on long tangents on that.
Okay, so what else did you do? Did you do a scene system? Because I think initially your first game, you had a non-existent scene, or you had a single scene, and you
Yes.
wanted to break up the scenes, obviously.
If you have a main menu or different levels, it just makes it a lot easier for
So you
the
can
user.
separate the game into multiple things,
Yes.
like a welcome screen, or
Exactly, yeah.
what else could you use it for? You spoke about.
Levels. I made this one old Unity game following a course called Talvania. Very fun.
That was about
course.
50 years ago. Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I never made a video on it because it wasn't mine. But basically, it had different levels as different scenes.
So that's the reason inspired you for that. You said something about
Quite
the
useful
scene.
because you have like level 1 is scene 1, level 2 is scene 2. You have a main menu.
So it'll
scene,
automatically
game over
jump
screen.
back to that scene when it's finished with the level. Is that what you're saying?
No, that would be you just go load scene when it's really simple. Just go set current scene, and the scenes hold the main camera.
So I mean, if you failed at something in the game, it could go to a different scene page.
Yeah, you just load the game over screen.
You made a big mistake, you big wally.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
okay,
you
great.
wanted, you probably could do that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what else did you do?
So this save scene state and load scene state. This designed so if let's say you have a chess game, the very start of the game is a scene state. It's the start scene state. So you have your chess game, all the pieces are arranged neatly. You could save that scene state, and whenever you lose, you can just load it again or reset the board.
Okay, cool.
Or reset the player to the start or anything like that. Or just save the whole scene state.
What's the next part you did? You did the joystick, the scene, the extension, abstraction layer stuff that you spoke about the other day.
Yep, I've added a proper abstraction layer. So if we go over...
So an API, in other words, just
API
abstraction layer
abstraction
sounds
layer.
so cool. I added an abstraction layer.
Yes. But in all my systems that just use renderable, they inherit from renderable, which means they can render stuff to the screen. They use this do render, and then instead of passing in the NTK rendering code, the render command encoder, I pass in my own one.
So you've dumbed it down for you and the user.
Pretty much.
It's a dumbed down version to make it easier for you.
It's easier for me, the user, so they don't have to know MetalKit, and it's easier to implement with all my systems.
And does it actually
So if I
work?
change-
Prove it. Show me. Oh, I see there. So you've got an example of the existing code with
Yep,
your
here's
new,
all
prettier code.
Here's the old code. Like the transform has really changed. All this just for this apply transform, not even mentioning the apply camera transform, which
So
is
you will
newer.
delete those comments.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
obviously.
for showing people.
Yeah, I'm just showing the video. I mean,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just to showcase that you
sure,
have.
it's very simple. It makes sense here, even in the rendering code.
So it's much more elegant.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
love that word, elegant. Oh, I'm so elegant today.
Yes, yeah. And I've updated both systems. And it's pretty much the same code, except here
Yeah.
I have to send the texture to the shader.
Cool. That's very cool. I think, you also spoke about the other day, you spoke about fighting with the screen refresh rates. And tell us about screen tear. What is that?
Yes. So screen tear. So first I'll explain Vsync. So Vsync, it tries to limit the FPS of your game to the FPS or to the refresh rate of your monitor. So I have a 60 Hz monitor. So all of the games with Vsync on would limit themselves to 60 FPS. The reason why is because if your monitor's refresh rate too slow, then half the monitor will be stuck on one frame, and the other half will be stuck on a new frame they just created. And if you're running at 12,000 FPS and your poor monitor can only do 60 FPS, you can understand that would be quite hectic screen tear.
Okay, and you said it's...
So I want screen tear. The reason why I'm trying to not get screen tear, but to check my true FPS.
We're not going to be tearing any screens today.
No. But I'm trying to get I was trying to see my true FPS. I still haven't succeeded. I just couldn't find how to.
This is very interesting. It's almost like when you came to me and I sat with you and we were chatting about it. And I just thought, okay, well, let's try chat or Gemini and ask it some questions about, does metal have a counter, for instance, and I was struck by how the current AI, really are desperately trying to help us. They want to help us at the expense of their own stupidity, in the sense that they will send us down a rabbit hole of stupidity and total rubbish. So, I mean, I know I'm getting to the point here, but the point is that AI is not your friend. And if it's not your friend, and it does that beautifully by sending you down or sending you to places that have no information, which is quite interesting. And there's a term called hallucination. It's when AI is hallucinating. I know it sounds crazy, doesn't it? It's hallucinating.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, you can just imagine the old times. Hey, man, I'm hallucinating. I'm feeling good. But no, when AI hallucinates, it means it comes up with rubbish. It basically comes up with erroneous, incorrect data. It fabricates it because it really wants to help you. It really wants to get that stuff going. So I trapped it. I asked it where to get this information from. And it sent us down this path of this guy that didn't even exist. Or what was it again? It was.
He sent us.
It didn't a he. It's not a he.
Okay. It sent us. It gave us a class that didn't exist called MTK Frame Counter. It sounded plausible, except it didn't exist anywhere.
Anyway,
Google.
just to nip this in the bud, I then went, no, this is not right. Is this a perfect example of hallucination? And I got a response from it. It said, yes, the reference to the non-existent MTK frame counter library is an example of an hallucination, where I incorrectly mentioned a library that does not exist. This can happen when generated responses based on patterns and training data, leading to the creation of plausible sounding but incorrect information. I apologize for that error. So there, I mean, it's just crazy, like you really, I think the best is to actually still use Stack Overflow. Okay, even though the first video, I you did that Freudian slip, but really, I mean, you don't use AI to help you at any of this stuff. The dog work?
Not really. I mean, some things are too complicated. Like I ask it to explain an algorithm in maths or something like that, and even then it gets it wrong.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Really?
Yeah. Like even maths, it sometimes gets maths wrong, which is like the strangest thing because you'd think they'd be the one thing with the most rules.
Yeah, okay, let's move on from that because we don't want to sound too ignorant, but that was quite interesting to teach someone the new term called hallucination, which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else can you tell us? Anyway, we struggled with that, and eventually we couldn't really get that working, right? We couldn't actually test.
I couldn't figure out what the true FPS is.
But maybe next week we'll have figured that out. Maybe, you never know.
Unlikely, but...
Unlikely? You have small little faith.
I don't have a lot of faith, no.
Okay, so what else can you tell us?
So, we've done scenes, we haven't done cameras yet, so let's
didn't you do cameras?
Let's look at cameras. No, I didn't do cameras, I don't think. No, I didn't. So, let's hopefully not read you the same things. I'd have a lot of work in edit then. Oh well.
Anyway, cool.
But anyway, we have a camera component now, very easy to add. You can just apply this camera component to any object you want, and you can just create your object, apply it, and then you can tell the scene that this is the main camera and draw the result from it.
Okay, cool. And then next video we'll be able to show people.
Yeah, because I haven't implemented it in my demo project.
Okay, cool.
But all camera is a position, is a transform, and we just minus that, just make it negative version of that, and we just add it to every other object. So we have an object here, and we have a camera here. If the camera moves that way, the object appears...
Here's the object, the head.
Yes, if it appears like it's moving backwards. So the camera never moves. It's not possible. So we just fake it by making the object move in the opposite direction the camera is. And we do that for all the objects. No one notices.
You see, no one's noticed me gone.
But yeah, it's quite cool.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And it's just some complicated matrices, just a transform matrix and just negative, minus it pretty much.
Cool. And you were going to talk about some algorithm that you were going to use?
Yes, so I think the best way of showing it though is with the game. So
yeah. Okay, but what was the other algorithm used? Okay, yeah, carry on. Yeah.
Right, so if we press play on the game.
So basically, this is just to demo the joystick components of. So but you were going to show them your Blender, how you did it in Blender first initially.
I think we should show the game so they know what I actually did.
Okay, and then the Blender, how you did it in Blender.
Yep. So
okay,
we
cool.
have our joystick all connected. It says connected controller, setup controller.
So you'd set that up and correctly, thank God, yeah.
Yep, thank goodness. And we can drive around. Our little car. This is made by Kenny. I'll give the link to the assets in the description.
That is so boring.
I know.
But at least your controller works.
As you can see, I'm very bad at driving with the controller.
And it's got an accelerator? Explain to us all the different...
So I'm using this key as the accelerator. The reason why I figured it would be quite cool, first of all, I'd never used it before on a joystick, and also because it's a throttle, just like the normal joystick keys. It's a throttle lever. So if you push half throttle, you could do half throttle. You could slowly inch it, or you could do full speed. If I enable nitro mode, we could slowly accelerate it, or full nitro speed, which is quite cool.
You just wanted to say that word, nitro.
Yes, that's why I said it twice, of course. Yeah, it's quite cool.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting, I suppose, if you're a fool. Okay, but at least we will... Yeah, it looks like an ant on a screen. You know, like one of those ants?
That's
like
pretty much what it is.
Maybe I will tear the screen.
Oh, well, I think it's quite cool
to
make a Lion Game engine.
Are you going to show...
So I first designed this level, this grid, or this level in Blender, just so I can copy over all the tiles positions over to my game.
Are you going to show us how you actually did that without committing suicide? Because I know it was terribly tedious and monotonous, wasn't it?
It was so tedious. So I had to fill in this map, which is the map of the world. So we have all the grass.
And obviously, in a perfect world, you would auto-generate something like this by using what?
Yes, and I will made the video after the next
What algorithm or what type of thing would you be using for something auto-generate?
Some sort of Polanoid, procedural generation, or even if I don't want to do that, I would fill it in manually, but I would use a rule tile system, so I don't have to do, where's this, road, corner, inner, down, left, and I have to put in all these special tiles in these very special positions.
I can just imagine you rocking up and down like that, saying that. Road, corner.
Sure, but you can roughly see the map, what it looks like.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
But if we go over to Blender now.
Blender.
And we can actually see what it looks like.
And how did you basically how you...
So I just imported the sprite, I cut it up, and this was actually quite fun to make this. But it was a lot more tedious copying each tile over, getting the index, and copying it over into Xcodes. You
mentioned that you had to write a little tiny... you had to actually use some maths for the first time in your life?
No, I did actually. I have used math before, don't worry. But I like using a playground. It's just really nice. I love playgrounds. They're super easy to just test out a little piece of the code without making a whole project for it. So over here, all I have to do is if I open my sprite sheet, which is just right over here, we open it up. Here's the sprite sheets that Kenny made. I'll give the link to Kenny's sprites in the description, of course.
Good man, Kenny. Good boy.
Okay. But all I do is find the tile. I go like, let's say I need to find this particular tile. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I get, so it's like 12, 4 something.
I would have shot myself off for that.
Each sprite, by the way.
Wow.
So, and I put in...
That's dedication.
4.
That is superior dedication. Coding.
And I give in the width of the sprite sheet, which is 18, and I have 221. And now, if I wanted, in my main script, I replace this with 221. It should give us the correct sprite. What? That isn't great.
We'll have to edit that.
Maybe I gave it...
You can't count. I'm not counting.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh. Okay, I think I figured it out. I got these mixed up. So now if I put in 4, it will give us 85. Let's now run it.
Cross fingers. That's it.
Yay! We got the correct sprite here. Kind of visible because it's grass on top of behind it, but you do get the correct sprite. And I had to do that for each individual kind of sprite.
God, that is, you deserve a bells. Yeah, we've been sick for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, it's not fun.
Yeah, excuse our...
No, it's awful. I hate being sick.
Our baritone voices. Yes. Our narration voices. We could be narrators right now. Or I could.
Yes, you could. I don't have a...
You'll have to get it one more year when you become a man.
Okay. But, yeah, I think that's about it with the map. It's quite simple to get input. We just go input.getKey down and give us the key code. Yeah, it's pretty simple. If you recognize this code, congrats to you. You obviously followed my tutorial on how to do a car controller because I stole the code directly from it. Usually, as usual, I watch my own tutorials to find code, which is quite funny. But I just added it in and modified it very slightly to use my transform components.
Well, right?
But yeah, and now as
Okay.
you see, I move local. And I quite like the Boolean toggle. I don't know if C# has this, so you can just toggle a Boolean. Since if it's true, it becomes false, false becomes true, obviously. So as you see, if you press N or the button A or the cross key on the joystick, then it toggles nitro mode.
Cool. Okay, so what's next? You see, we're going to explain the
Yes.
the last part of opening the game. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
So if we check out the game...
I suppose now that's just going to be like irritating you, that one.
Oh no, yeah, I must undo that. It's going to be there for the rest of the game's history. Anyway, if we check the geometry of this tile map, it's quite ugly. So it's just a bunch of squares with 2 triangles, and they're like 300, I think I counted.
Yeah.
Or calculated, roughly 300 over 300.
And you said something about some algorithm that you want to use.
So I'm going to use binary greedy meshing. Yes, that's it. To simplify this mesh, we go down to like probably
10 faces.
It
looks like
turns
10
into
faces
like
there.
10 faces, I think.
So explain
with
why you
binary
would do
greedy
something like
meshing.
that.
And this would, all it do is it would convert these two or this section, this entire section. I guess it's kind of useless for me to point since you can't really see me, but properly. But
use your mouse, man.
Yes,
the pointer.
Yes. I don't know why I point. Oh, I just have it. But this section, I could just convert it to one big triangle. And if I was thinking,
How do you convert it to a triangle?
2 triangles.
Thank you. Better.
There we go.
Yes, what's
2 triangles, 2 big triangles, and then I can just, and it would look the same in the game as long as I texture it properly. And I do have to do some complicated shader code, which I'm not excited about, but I would have to do in a fragment shader, I think, to properly UV unwrap it. Should be
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah. It's
So
how a lot of Minecraft clones.
you also said that to me a while back that you could, when you were playing with other games, that you could auto hide something.
Yeah, so I'm also going to use chunking probably, which will just separate it. Where is it? Where's our screen again? It will just separate each of the sections. Go back to the geometry. So you'd have a big section, it would be a separate chunk, like in Minecraft clones, they all do this, and Minecraft itself does this. So that if it's out of bounds of the screen, why render it? We're doing the same on 2D though.
Okay. So, and what kind of game do you think you will be building, like first proper game, first full-on game? What do you think you're going to go with? I know you spoke on the first
We have
video.
a few ideas. So we have an orphanage game idea where you build like a prison architect style, a kind of prison architect style, but in replacement of
which would
guards,
work well with
orphanage, volunteers, that kind of stuff.
Which would work well with your tile map system.
Yeah,
which
it
is
was
perfect.
originally designed for prison architect clone kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was the original intention of the engine, actually, which is quite funny. I love Prison Architect a lot, and I still do. It's a very cool game. But yeah, the other idea is like a farming game. It's a really evil farming game, though.
Oh, okay.
Where you must like spray poisons, and you must like throw like poison acids down molehills and all the bad things to pull the moles.
God. And
like just
he's
destroy
a pacifist.
all the pests. Yes, I'm an hectic pacifist. So yeah, it's a perfect game for me then.
We should be killing humans, not animals.
We
are animals. Anyway, and what else can you tell us? Anything else?
I think that would be quite a cool game, but...
You also spoke about physics. We needed physics. You wanted to, I know you mentioned that in the first...
Yeah, I'm going to implement Box 2D physics engine into this project.
Okay.
Should be quite cool. It's C++, I believe. Or C or something, or C++, eh?
Yeah.
But they just released the 3 version, so I might implement it in my project.
Yeah, and then at least you can have gravity.
Just before I implement my own 2D physics engine.
Yeah, right. Anyway. Okay.
Well, I'm going to be fixing this one tile for the next half hour, finding my key code. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Cool. Saragochle. Auf Wiedersehen.
Just
Tot ziens.
yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.